The question that we all should be asking is the first question to a friend of ours is how can a person live generously and compassionate in this world where there's such uncertainty? And that really brings into play how we look at things. And the questions that should come up after that, at least let them answer that, because you'll get some really interesting answers. Is we need to have an understanding as to the future. And up front, this is a participating game. You should be in control of what you think, what you do, just asking good questions to people of like mind. And the question then shows up is, how could you be committed to something that you've never heard about? And that's where we at Nefesh really want to discuss these things about what you put into your brain, how it affects you physically, and the physical side, how it affects you mentally. And if that isn't enough, the emotional side and the spiritual side and the financial side, all of these seem to come into play with how you deal with mercy and compassion, justice, and above all, the truth. We live in a world where people do not trust us anymore. So we have to address these things not in a way of just attacking the other side, but presenting something that makes sense, that has good science to it. And I think that word good science is just a euphemism for follow me. And because, boy, I really got my hands on it. But if we could deal with this thing and to have compassion, slow to anger, and rich in grace, but to understand what is trying to be done to us. And it's within that realm that we at Nefesh really want to discuss an approach that not only saves you an enormous amount of money, but will position you in a lifestyle that's enjoyable, that's filled with that thing called grace and energy and mercy, because we have an understanding. And from my perspective, I take it from Solomon. He said, I first of all want you to be intelligently disciplined so that you can first be right, and that's a fun one, and then just, and then fair. If we can bring our business profile to play in that world, then at least we're making an attempt at sharing with you things that we know to be true. And I think that as we look at what's taken place, the evidence of what we eat today, what we look at, what we put into our head, has taken us down a pretty sour road where is there justice? I think not. So it's within that realm where if we just had an understanding that organic foods will repair and rebuild and protect the cell. If you put chemicals, and by the way, speaking of ultra-processed foods, we're now seeing indicators that has an enormous amount to do with dementia. So if that's the case, what's the rest of the systems, the digestive tract, the emotional side of the brain not functioning correctly, the cardiovascular issues? If we simply moved over and quit believing that eating healthy is expensive, it's a little bit inconvenient, I'll grant you that, until you learn the fundamentals. Once you get a pattern, it is really easy to do. And we at Nefesh want to introduce you to that journey and that method that will allow you the freedoms that are indifferent to what you have been taught. And I look at our academic system, and here we have graduating seniors that only a third of them can do math and read at grade level. Something is wrong with our system, and what really is burdensome to me is we become tolerant of that situation and almost indifferent. And that indifference is worse than the sin itself. And what we at Nefesh, again, really want to address with you is this incredible ability to participate. You see, I'm taught, my system teaches me that I should be part of the solution, not just get above it as the Essenes did and the Stoics, and work within that perimeter that there's nothing that you can do. But boy, I will tell you, there is something that you can do. First of all, take care of your own body. Participate in that and your children, and you will see a ripple effect that is so magnificent to see the absolute humor and the happiness that comes out of a body that's functioning and it's clean. And our concept is a simple one. Where there's cleanliness, there's more functionality. And when you function better, you function for less money. And you function with purpose. And all at once, there's a passion that comes into play. That's what we are, simply here to design, to meet those needs, produce a product that plugs in and gives you energy and cleans. You see, when we begin to clean the body, it really has a difference. Let me show you the way. Steve Wilson, the Nefesh, 970-260-1740.